And he's at it again. Late drop, straight into the pit. He's coming out.
Wow.
That could be a 10. That had all the excitement, all the drama we wanted to see.
A lot of news to catch up on, though. A lot of new faces and a lot of people withdrawing from the season as far as John Florence is concerned. Winning a world title last year, he's going to take a break, but that creates the rookie spot for Al Cleveland Jr. Gilmore continues to take her break from last year, and we'll see Lulu back on tour. Medina hurt himself preparing for this season. A pectoral injury. He's already had surgery. Said it went well on the road to recovery. Gentile getting the call up to compete once again, at least in the first 3 events of the season, as the first injury replacement wild card. We'll also see Eli Hanneman, a rookie from last year, get a wild card call up for Pipe. We'll get to see Basque Country representation with Nadia Arostarbe in the mix. We're also going to miss out on the French veteran Joanne Defay, missing out on the first event of the season. We hope we see her back at stop number 2. And we also have that unfortunate news. Crosby hurt himself at Pipe preparing. He's hoping to get back as soon as he can. And then the heavy wild card names, Moana Jones Wong is back. And the biggest name in surfing, Kelly Slater. And also not missing John for too long because he accepted his wild card to compete at his home break.
Oh, you look at those wild cards and you think, holy, I don't think it gets any better, right? They're the 3 absolute goats out here. And anytime we get to see Kelly put a jersey on, I think we've got to be pretty grateful because who knows how much longer he might be still getting to do that.
Speaking of game day, we can't wait to see Kelly back in the jersey again. It's been kind of emotional the last couple of years because we're guessing like what's going to happen. Will we ever see him again? We're loving that he's getting a chance at Pipe to go for a 9th Pipe title, break his own record, looking for a 52nd career CT win. I cannot wait.
Yeah, what we saw go down, you know, in 2022 was nothing short of incredible. I mean, just a few days shy of his 50th birthday, not only an inspiration to the surfing world, but just the world in general, to what is possible, to pushing the barriers at that kind of age. I mean, like we were saying, Ross, it's not easy to surf Pipe. It's technical.
Yeah.
It's you've got to be on. You've got to be fast. It's hard work. So it's nothing short of incredible.
I mean, what makes Kelly's career so incredible is, you know, especially if you look at late 80s, 90s, which his career spanned through, there was this big separation between guys that shredded in events like in beach breaks and guys that were specialists at pipeline. And Kelly was sort of ahead of the curve of someone who blended both those worlds together. Now with the Johns and the Barrons and all that, that's expected. You have to be good at everything. But Kelly was at the forefront of that.
And the CT by the numbers speak for themselves. Kelly dominating that victory in 2022. He called it the best, most important win of his career. And he's had 56, you know, going with those 11 world titles. And he was almost 50. 5 days shy of being 50 years of age. His greatness continues to impress us. And I'd almost think having that uncomfortable loss as a wild card at Cloudbreak last season could spark a little bit of fire in the GOAT if he needs any coming into this event.
I still believe he's probably one of the most competitive guys in that draw. There's no doubt about it. If he's in that, he wants to win. And I mean, Ross, you were just saying, I mean, he's adaptable. He's one of those first guys that was kind of doing that and bridging that gap between, you know, turns and barrels and being adaptable out here. And if you look at the forecast coming up, I mean, it is going to be tricky. Yeah. So I don't doubt that hunger.
Yeah, good point. And one guy that Kelly got past that was a turning point to that win was Barron Mamiya. It was like seconds on the clock. Kelly came from behind and stole it off Barron, but Kelly said, hey, the next guy out here will be Mamiya, and we got to see that in real time last season, Ross.
Yeah, Barron, just a legit North Shore boy. You know, he was raised right here on this reef and basically grew up pulling into closeouts, and you can see that it's part of his strength. You know, surfing well at Pipe, you have to be really comfortable taking off steep and deep and super late. And Barron is, you know, he is one of the very, very best. But you combine that with, he's also gotten so much better in the last couple of years at competing. And sure, you know, Pipe, there's a lot of glory, there's a lot of big barrels, but you got to find those grindy backup scores. And Barron's really good at that as well, so you can see he got the victory last year.
Truly unstoppable for Barron Mamiya as we look at the CT by the numbers. He had a 10-point ride against one of his heroes, John Florence, in the final. You couldn't have scripted it better for Barron. And one thing he told me just the other day was like, he was like actually so relieved to get this victory early. The small community here, he's going to hear all the time that he's a favorite to win. He's already got one. That's a relief. Now he's actually coming in with a ton of confidence coming into as the defending event champion. But focusing on the women's draw now of who to watch, is it too early to say Aaron Brooks being a favorite maybe for the event and a world title flick?
I don't think so. I mean, it's kind of been the question on everyone's lips. People are talking about it, but you look at, she's a prodigy. I mean, we've seen her coming from a mile away, but then we finally got to see her, you know, CT event as a wild card in Fiji. Her rail control, the transition between turns, her speed. She's surfing at a different speed, and you know, when it got a bit bigger too, her ability in the barrel is second to none. It's undeniable. She's got so many different skills, from the double arm drag to the, you know, positioning up and down the board. I can't wait to see what she does here. I mean, obviously we've got a tricky forecast, but her backhand is great as well. You know, it's just, potential world champ this year. Will she be like Stephanie Gilmer in her rookie year? We'll see.
Yeah, we've only seen that once. That was with Steph in 07. Aaron's got that behind her. We'll see if that's going to help her cause this year or put some pressure on herself. We'll find out soon. Local wildcard stories are always big at Pipeline, and we've got the biggest one with the Queen of Pipeline back as a wildcard, Moana Jones Wong, Ross.
And you can see from this clip right here, this is her bread and butter. Moana's got this lineup down as good as anyone out here. Obviously, she has the advantage of surfing out here all year long, so she's very, very comfortable. That being said, the forecast is really tricky for Moana. You know, there's a really good chance that she'll be surfing around, at least one round out here in head-high rights, and that's when all the little whippersnappers are going to be blowing tail and maybe even doing aerials. So this is going to test those wild cards. In the years past, you know, there was this crazy advantage at Pipeline for wild cards, but like we were talking earlier, you know, all the tour surfers are expected to surf well at Pipe and Huntington, so it'll be a good test for Moana.
Well, one surfer that's similar to Moana and Aaron Brooks, and she's had a win as a wild card, but now a full-fledged rookie, is Tahiti's Vahine Fierro in the mix, making her rookie debut. We saw her brilliance from last season at her home break, and she had put so much focus and prep work into Teahupo because of the Olympics and also because of the championship tour. Totally took over her local lineup, got past Tati, even though Tati had the 10. That's one of my favorite heats of all time. But she is so ready. You know, when you think about having no weaknesses, like, she's been on the grind. She, you know, finaled in Bolito in 1-foot surf. Yeah. You know, she's got a lot more range than you might expect from someone who's maybe a tube specialist, where I think Vahine will be able to adapt no matter what the forecast looks like.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think one of her strongest positions out there, you know, is her backhand. It's deadly. It's so sharp, and that's what got her to the CT basically. You know, a lot of right hand waves on the Challenger Series. So yeah, this forecast, I think she'll be all right.